Watch you guys. People need to stop doing this to their PC in 2021. We're going to be taking a look at some of the tweaks that people still do in 2021. Maybe it's because they were brought up in a time when some of these tweaks were sort of used quite a bit. But now I think in 2021, there's not much point in doing them anymore. But I still see a lot of websites on the internet and also a lot of YouTube videos that still promote this sort of stuff as it's a performance boost and you can get more out of your PC. So just right click and go to run, and I'm going to type system properties inside here, and I'm going to put performance, all one word like that. Just system properties performance. Click OK, and this will open up this box here. Now the first performance options you're going to see here is visual effects. We're talking about in this one virtual memory. I still see a lot of people talking about virtual memory in 2021. Now, the virtual memory settings have been around for a very long time, and a lot of people like to tweak around and mess around in here. But personally, I just leave this to automatically managing paging file sizes for all drives and let Windows deal with it. It can deal with all this a lot better than what you can. And it does cause a lot of problems when you come in here and change it to a custom size and start giving it your own values here. What can happen is it can start running out of virtual memory and you can end up running into problems. I even see some websites saying turn it off if you've got 16 gigs of RAM. And personally, it's just ludicrous. You're going to end up with loads more problems. Just leave it on automatic and let it do its thing. And personally, in 2021, I've never seen the need to go in here and make changes to the virtual memory settings to boost performance of your PC. Personally, I just think by messing with it, it just ends up messing around with your PC and you end up with more problems than you would have done if you just left it on automatic. Let's move on to the next topic, which is registry cleaning, which is still sticking around by the skin of its teeth in 2021. Look at all the companies here that are trying to trick you into falling for this nonsense. As it says here, powerful PC cleaning, tune-ups. You've also got other ones here. Best free PC registry cleaning software to fix errors and also boost performance. You'll get all this nonsense coming on here. And we're just going to download and install one of these, and I'll show you what I mean here. Now, a lot of these software companies use very aggressive advert campaigns to try to get you to use their software. They use really keywords like performance boost, boost the speed of your PC, fix errors and all these things. You can see here Boost Speed is another program they do, which is apparently supposed to boost the performance of your PC by running this. And all it's going to do is just remove junk files on your PC, which is what Windows can do itself anyway. So let's go ahead and install this and see what it does. You'll see right away it wants to collect data, and we're going to disagree there and go agree to install. Click on this and straight away you can see it wants to install their Boost Speed software as well. So we're going to decline that. And of course, again, I guarantee it will do another one because these sort of programs rely on you to install all of their software, and then they'll bombard you to buy their premium or paid or pro versions. You can see it wants to now install the driver updater as well. And that's another program that I see a lot of people use in 2021. And they still want to put more software on the PC. And then there we go. We start to run a scan on this PC. Now you can see some areas here that are highlighted here in pro version. Missing software and some COM and ActiveX and a bunch of other stuff here. You have to have the pro version to fix these errors, and it's just a way to get you to buy a piece of software that you really don't need. It's just some sort of cleaning tool that just cleans out dead registry keys and stuff like that. You can see here, Start Menu 1. I've had this PC with this installation for quite a while now, and you can see there's not vast amounts of stuff on here. And they still want you to go ahead and activate to get the pro version here. But you can resolve these by clicking on the resolve button and fix these. Installed software, 76. So there's been 76 installed software. They're probably not 76 installed programs. It's probably just keys that have been left around from other programs that you've uninstalled. History lists, file extensions and stuff like that. There we go. It's still nagging me to get the pro version, and this is exactly what these types of software do. And yet loads of people promote this stuff. I don't know why. In 2021, they're still doing it. And of course, hopefully one day this will go away. But while there's money to be made, people will continue to promote this sort of stuff on the internet. And you'll get major websites putting articles up with this sort of stuff because they get good money from it as well, from affiliate links and things like that. So the best thing you can do if you've got these sort of programs on your system is go to the control panel, programs and features, and uninstall. And just on the uninstall page here, you can see they're still trying to coax you to keep the program installed on your PC. And just uninstall it. You don't really need it. And this is the main goal of these sort of software, really, is to get you to buy the actual pro version because it does a lot more for you. And really it doesn't. It's just to get you to buy something so you can actually be conned out of your hard-earned cash. So let's take a look at another thing that people tend to still talk about and still do in 2021, and that's defrag. You really don't need to worry about defragging your drives anymore. It's called Optimize and Defrag Drive. You can see here it takes care of it in the background. If you've got an SSD, it's not going to defrag it. It's going to basically trim, which is completely different to defragging. And if you've got a mechanical drive, you'll see there is an ability there to defrag that drive as well. So you'll also get programs on the internet called something like System Mechanic or something like that. And what it will do is it will defrag all your drives for you in the background, take care of all your startup programs, junk files, and keep your PC running at its optimal performance to boost performance and speed of your PC. And it doesn't actually do any of that stuff. You don't really need to do any of this. You can leave this as scheduled here and it will take care of it in the background and defrag your drives as and when it needs to. So you don't really need to worry about any of this stuff in 2021. Whereas back in the earlier days, it was a big thing and everyone used to make sure you defrag your hard drive. And it was a real big thing that everyone used to have to do or, take care of. But now it's all taken care of for us. But you'll still get a lot of websites that are writing articles every day about how to boost performance of your PC by, disabling startup apps, defragging your drive and things like that, cleaning up your hard drive space and all these silly things in 2021. It really is ridiculous. But they just keep rehashing stuff. And of course, it's just sort of conning people into thinking it's going to work. This is another thing inside MS Config, which I see a lot of people do, which is inside the advanced tools here, talking about number of processes and also maximum memory. This was never meant for boosting PC performance. This is for troubleshooting and diagnostics and debugging, hence why you can see those there. They're not going to do anything for your PC. They're not going to boost your PC and force it to use these cores and memory and make your PC suddenly become super fast by doing these. And yet they're still added into performance and enhancements and optimization tweaks for Windows 10 in 2021. So just ignore those because they don't do anything apart from troubleshooting. Other things I see are inside the registry. And there's loads of registry tweaks out there which people think that will make the PC 100 times faster by doing simple little tweaks. And some of these do actually work to a degree, but not the way you think it does. So for instance, this one in particular here, wait till you kill service timeouts and things like that. You can see it's set to 5,000 and that means 5 seconds. And people will change this to 2,000, which is 2 seconds. The problem with things like this when you're shutting down your PC and you're trying to make it shut down a lot faster is when you've got really complex programs that are trying to close down correctly and you're forcing it to shut down quicker by reducing that time scale there, what can sometimes happen is you'll end up with a problem because you force shut down the PC without the program shutting down correctly. So that's the problem you're going to get here when you use those types of tweaks. Power settings, again, I see this one coming up quite a bit. Yes, it's useful to adjust your power settings, but I've seen articles online and I've seen videos on YouTube suggesting you'll get, massive performance boosts by making changes here, and it's just not the case. You're not going to get it. And the thing is, it's very misleading. And they put a thumbnail here with, used to get this FPS and now I'm getting this FPS by doing this. And you're not going to get like massive differences. So it's just for power consumption. I also want to talk about BIOS flashing here. A lot of people are petrified to flash their BIOS with the fear that they're going to brick their motherboard. And yes, there is always risks for bricking your motherboard. But in 2021, it's a lot more safer to flash your BIOS in a safer way. Whereas in the earlier days, it was a higher risk of bricking your motherboard, especially in floppy drive days, but nowadays it's not so bad. So why would you need to flash your BIOS? Well, there's many different reasons for it. Maybe you've got a piece of hardware that is not being recognized and stuff like that. If that is the case, then check for BIOS updates. Maybe you're trying to use a new CPU into a older motherboard that does need a BIOS flash to get that CPU to be recognized and work properly. As you can see here in the Z490, to use the 11th gens, you will need to flash the BIOS. So things like that, you would need to go ahead and try to flash the BIOS to try to get it to accept the piece of hardware that you're using, maybe memory compatibility issues and things like that. But normally on a new motherboard, I like to flash the BIOS when I buy a brand new motherboard. And I would only generally flash the BIOS on a system if I bought one used and it was a refurb or something like that, or look for a BIOS update. Maybe if I'm doing some different memory and is having issues with it, you can look for BIOS updates. But generally, you have no really need to update the BIOS unless you're having issues with something or some sort of security risk that you want to patch. Now, my rule of thumb is when it comes to flashing a BIOS is if you don't need to do it, then leave it well alone. But if you do need to do it for a certain reason, then by all means go ahead and take the right precautions and flash your BIOS. So I hope this video has been some sort of use to you. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Have a great weekend, guys, and I shall see you again for another video real soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.